Hello. Jay's just fighting with Finn. We don't have a Mel this evening. She's not been able to make it, unfortunately. So it will just be the two of us discussing the book. But if anybody is looking for the links because you're new here or whatever, here are the links for Cliterature. Here is Jade's link.
Hello.
Here is Mel's link. And if you're here, you should already know my channel. This is the December book. It's available on Kindle Unlimited and Amazon, and the co-hosts again will be Jade and also Gavla.
How have you wrapped me into 2 in a row?
Don't know. Did try for a third, didn't I? But
you did. Yeah. I very politely declined.
Twice. And if you would like any merch, we do have merch on Redbubble. For Cliterature, please do use that link because we do get ripped off regularly. So if you do go on Redbubble and search for Cliterature Book Club merch, it might not be us. And we also have the Etsy shop as well, which we don't have Cliterature merch for on the Etsy shop, but we do have loads of other stuff, and we will be closing on Saturday the 10th, this Saturday. So for Christmas until January. So if you do want any last minute bits for friends, family, or just for yourself, now is the time to get your orders in.
No, I want a trio of celestial moths.
Yes, we do have lots of them left if anybody would like to get some trio celestial moths. Hello. Steph, Jade, and Finn.
Oh, Finn, leaving? Off you go. Go and see your father. Good job.
Okay, so we are discussing With a Vengeance by Freydis Moon this evening.
It's really dark in here. Suits.
Your hair looks great, though.
Oh, don't. No.
Why?
It wasn't supposed to be this colour.
Oh. What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be red. It's pink.
Is it the colour that we bought?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. She was like, yeah, it'll give you pillar box red.
Yeah. She was like, it'll be like the same colour as the one you're looking at in that brand. It's fucking pink. Yeah, so I arrived at work today to a lot of like stares and was like, it wasn't supposed to be pink. It wasn't supposed to be pink. And then they were shutting me out of the kitchen, being like, no pink hair allowed in the kitchen. I was like, it's not supposed to be pink.
Cece, thank you so much for doing the link dropping. I appreciate it. So yeah, we're here to discuss this, in which we're following Kai and also Eli. Eli is a demon possessing Kai, and Kai has to go back to their family home because their mother has passed away, and there is some shit going down with an ICE agent basically investigating their mum's business. Turns out it's not as simple as that. So initial thoughts, Ratbag, what did you rate it?
I'm gonna shock everybody.
If you give this 5 stars.
I don't read smut. I don't read porn, right? Everyone's surprised I ended up being involved in a Cliterature book club at all. I gave it a higher rating than you did. I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4.
Fair. What did everyone else give it in the chat? I did give it 3 stars. I'm undecided if it's entirely the book's fault, but my mood has been shocking today.
I was thinking this when you finished it earlier. I thought, 1, you're in a bad headspace. Yeah. 2, you are rushing it when you don't want to be. Yeah. I think you didn't, no fault of your own, really, but I don't think you gave it the fairest chance for you to enjoy it.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I was surprised every time I heard you saying in your sprints, like, I just want it to be done, or like, this book. I was thinking, I thought this would have all the ingredients for things that you would like. Clearly, I was wrong.
I really enjoyed like the sex parts, obviously, because it's sex, but I really enjoyed those parts. You know what I think it is as well, though? I actually didn't find Eli that attractive, which is shocking.
Oh my God. He was like proper emo boy, so I was like, yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I thought he was charming. I did think he was charming, and I loved the way that he looked after Kai and the way that he treated them and things like that. I loved that. But and the way that he could be very fierce, ambitious when Kai needed it, but also very loving and caring when they needed it as well. And I did love that side of things, but I wasn't ridiculously like attracted to him as far as descriptions are concerned. I think I would have shit my pants if he'd have turned up in my house looking his natural self.
Anyone in their right mind would have shit their pants if a demon showed up at their doorstep, Steph.
This is true. I mean, I wasn't in their right mind, were they? But
exactly. Kai thought that they were hallucinating like the first few times that they saw Eli. So
very true. Very true. But generally, yeah. And honest, I wasn't invested in the plot either, which I think went against it a little bit. Again, maybe I just didn't give the plot enough of a chance because I was already frustrated in the beginning of the book with the book. It was obviously a me problem, I think, not the book necessarily. But I wasn't that interested in the plot. When the plot twist happened, I was like, oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. But I feel like the way it wrapped up as well, I don't know. I feel like it...
I don't know what plot twist you're referring to. I thought it was quite predictable.
Oh, see, I didn't see it coming.
Which plot twist are you... I assume everyone here... Just put it in the private chat just in case. What plot twist? Okay.
I didn't see that coming. We will discuss this in a minute. We're just trying to do non-spoilers to start off with. No, I know, yeah, but I didn't put two and two together.
Right, okay.
Again, probably because of my headspace, I just didn't figure it out. Cheers, babe. She really is. So Cece loved it. I went when I was putting my rating in before, it's all 4 and 5 stars online. And I was like, is this actually true though? Or are they like friends of the authors? But looking at everybody's ratings, very much so the case by the looks of things. No.
Considering I do not read this genre.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually having a really good time with it. I liked the plot. I thought it was very sexy. It was very porn heavy. But I think that it had a good balance of an actual plot and some like gritty horribleness behind it. And that's what I really wanted from this. The whole point of the With a Vengeance is that our main character's trauma is the main point, I think, rather than, yes, she has sex with a demon. They have sex with a demon. But I think that their trauma is supposed to be the main point. And I think that came.
Yeah. True. Successfully procrastinated reading the book, but I'm still here. Hopefully we don't spoil it for you, because I would say stick around until we get to the spoilers, because by the looks of things, I would recommend reading it. Honestly, I would. Especially if you're into like the sexy parts as well, because there is a lot of them going on, but there is like a plot to it and everything in the background, and there is a lot going on with the main character Kai, and
they have a lot to unpack.
they really do, and in such a short amount of time as well. They do go through a lot, considering it's such a short book. So I would still recommend it. We've got 4 stars from Erin, 4.5 from Cece. Only got halfway through the book so far. Fair. Her soul to take. You know what? I actually think she would enjoy it if she gave it a go.
as soon as I finished it, I was debating it. I was like, you know what, maybe like dark demon porn could be my thing. If there's like trauma to unpack too, maybe. Because you know what really took me by surprise about this in the very beginning of the book was, and I think I mentioned this to you maybe or someone, that I disturbingly related to Kai in the beginning.
You did say that.
And I mean, granted, definitely not everything that Kai's got going on, but there were elements of Kai's brain and inner workings and the way that Kai thought about themselves sometimes, and then I just thought, like, I feel that.
Yeah.
Which is disturbing, but true. And I think that's why I then ended up liking it more than I thought I would. Like, I just connected quite quickly.
Yeah. I do think that you would enjoy Her Soul to Take, though. Steph just noped out of this book. Honestly, I think I've just noped out of life for the last 2 days. I'm so overwhelmed from the weekend. I again, though, it's me, not the book. I thought the book wasn't always the most clear, particularly in the beginning. However, I loved it. Yeah. Like Freydis said, this wasn't supposed to be a good person happy ending, that they do bad things and don't apologize for it. Yeah. I do have Freydis's next book on, I've got an e-arc of it from NetGalley, so I am looking forward to trying again.
Oh, what is their next book?
And hopefully having a more positive, it's called, oh, hang on. Let me get myself on NetGalley. Okay. It's not on my thing, apparently.
Whilst you're doing that, I will build on that, it not being a good person, happy ending thing. I think that they did it very well with building up some... I know morally grey is like a hot word these days, but sometimes not even morally grey, like pure, like, evil characters. Like,
yeah,
they weren't a good person at times. At times they were, at times they weren't, and I think it was a very good build-up of that character.
Yeah, I agree.
Good character, yeah.
It's called Three Kings. It's already out.
I think I've heard of this. Is it the like trio of dudes?
It's poly modern day fairy tale filled with magical flora, cozy romance, and Icelandic folklore.
Icelandic folklore. Ooh.
Yeah, Ethan, Peter, and Nico. So yeah.
Nice. Who knows? Maybe I'll give it a go. Although I don't think cozy porn is going to be my thing.
It does sound a little bit odd, doesn't it? Cozy porn.
Yeah.
Definitely still read it, especially as everyone seems to have enjoyed it. After order, to take. Yeah, very much filling you love to love. You are rooting for them massively.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even when they do things that you know are not good or right or correct, but you're definitely still on their side.
For sure. I agree. Okay, do you want to get into spoilers?
Yeah, I feel like because it's such a short book, there's not much that we can say without spoiling things.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably worth pointing out, if anyone who is watching this hasn't read the book or even know anything about it, that it is a non-binary main character who, you know, has lots of trauma to unpack. It was nice to see a non-binary main character.
They do get dead named a lot, though. So just be aware of that going in, if that bothers anybody for any reason.
And they do get misgendered a lot.
Yeah, all the time.
Let's spoil the shit out of it. So, like, when they murdered that dude at the end and just had sex in his blood, like, great. Cool. I like that.
For some reason, I seem to ignore the dead man as much as they did. I don't know. It didn't even cross my mind that he was still in the room until afterwards.
They were in a pool of his blood.
It was only when she then when they then explained it while they were talking to Esther at the door, and they were like, "Considering we've just banged in a dead man's pool of blood," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Shit, I forgot he was even there."
Forgot that dead man was in the room, and it wasn't even like a corpse because they like decimated that body.
Yeah,
like that was torn to shreds carcass of a man. Like,
yeah.
And they just, yeah.
I do wonder whether or not that would. It's obviously not in the book, and it doesn't fucking matter. But I do wonder whether or not that would come back to bite them in the ass, though, because surely his wife will know where he's gone.
Later, when Kai comes into their lesser demonness, they do the mind control.
Of course they do. Yeah.
I do think there is a lot of things that happen out of convenience in this book. Like, oh, now Kai is also a demon and can mind control dead man's wife.
Yeah.
That was very convenient.
Yeah.
But I suppose it tied it up because it was never going to be a series or anything, so it needed a loose end tying up. And
yeah. I was on the edge of my seat with Kai and Esther, though. I wondered whether or not we might end up with a throuple at some point. Well, not necessarily a throuple, because I don't think they ever would have told Esther about Eli. But, you know, like a bit of like a poly relationship or something. Is it poly where they're quite open? So they would still...
Well, it would be an open relationship, wouldn't it? Although their relationship with Eli was never like a relationship, really.
Yeah, but he was very possessive of them, though, and was very much like, you are mine.
That's a good point. I don't think Eli ever would have allowed it.
No.
Which then leads me to ask, at the end, when Kai is then a lesser demon who also will need humans to feed, how is Eli going to deal with that?
Yeah, I wondered that. But I think they've then taken the shop owner for that job, haven't they? So I think they will literally just feed off them and then just continue getting what they need from Eli, maybe.
Yeah, because Eli can still feed from Kai.
Yeah. That's
a good point, Erin. The mother's workers worshipped her, so hiring back the workers, Kai can feed off their reverence. Yeah. It doesn't have to be sexual reverence, does it? That's a very good point as well.
Yeah.
So, as long as they worship her.
It's a little blood play.
Well, not her anymore, but yeah. I thought that funny.
Be with you tomorrow.
Thanks. I guess I'm reading more demon porn.
Not sorry. My villain side emerging here, but he deserved it. I agree. I was not mad at that situation at all.
And this is what I mean about you're still rooting for them even when they do some fucked up shit, like just tear a guy to pieces in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
Because it wasn't right what he did.
No.
What a shitbag.
What a shitbag.
Yeah. Andrew.
What a shitbag.
Go play on God of War, babe. Leave me alone.
But yeah. I am surprised that a lot of, because the sex in it's pretty violent.
Very hardcore.
I don't have a lot to compare it to, so I have nothing to compare it to. Does it get much darker? I don't know.
I, off the top of my head, think that might be. Can I remember how rough it was in Her Soul to Take?
Because I would say that's some pretty dark, fucked up sexual fantasy shit.
Yeah.
I haven't read a lot of dark, fucked up sexual. I haven't read any other dark, fucked up. Yeah, I have nothing to compare this to.
I feel like that could be the darkest in the fantasy romance sense that I've read.
Right. I started with a good one then, yeah?
It was very violent. It was very violent, and I'm just glad that it was like consensual as well, though. Like Kai wanted it as much as he wanted to give it. So, and also the fact that he like offered, he said, I won't need to know a safe word, but if you want a safe word, we can have one.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's fine. Because obviously
they're literally
he can hear everything. Yeah.
He's in the head, yeah.
Cece, was Her Soul to Take as dark, as violent as this one? I can't remember off the top of my head. Everyone's saying hi to my partner. Thanks, babe. A lot darker, depending. Yeah, it was in places.
I'm wondering, like, how much darker though, because my natural instinct would be like, oh yeah, like if they're playing with like blood and stuff, but they did. So
yeah. Oh, kind of. Nice. I think as well, it's the portrayal of, because Eli's a demon, it's the portrayal of, and the description of his manhood, let's say, because I don't want to say the P word live on YouTube. It's the portrayal of, I don't know, it's the portrayal of his manhood and like how that's explained. And I think in Her Soul to Take, for example, it's quite different. It's kind of described as a little bit different. Again, it would be quite painful, I think, like it was in this situation. Yeah. So absolutely nobody is surprised by this situation. But also, can I get recommendations? So yeah, it was quite violent, wasn't it? I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be that violent, but it was.
I was pleasantly surprised by it though, because as I say, with the title With a Vengeance and the way I had like seen the marketing, I say marketing, it's self-published, there wasn't any marketing for it, but like the way I had seen it recommended online, which is how I got the recommendation to give to you and how we got here in the first place, you know, people had said that it is all about vengeance and revenge and that aggression and that anger and that violence, and I'm glad that it was in there and that wasn't a case of people, you know, calling something dark when it's not.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it definitely played dark, paranormal, erotic, didn't it?
I also like the role of the therapist.
Yeah.
Admittedly, he didn't have a very big role. But like after they'd had trigger warning for like everything, like the whole rape fantasy, and they had enacted said rape fantasy, and then Kai went into like the internal monologue of describing like what the therapist had said, that people who have experienced this may want to reenact their trauma but in an environment that they can control, and that's why it was safe and why it was okay and stuff. Like I liked that sort of, I don't want to say balance because it's not like it makes it like fluffy rainbows and stuff, but you know, it kind of gives it a little bit of tone. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not just a rape fantasy for the sake of like, wow, a rape fantasy. It's like, here's the trauma behind it and why.
Here's the logic.
Why it exists.
Yeah, it was good because the Doctor kind of only had one scene, didn't he, really? But throughout the book, you kind of hear Kai going through their own monologue, like this is what the Doctor said, or this is what the Doctor suggested and stuff. I think it was quite good how it brought that through to the forefront a lot, and it did make the situation that Kai was going through quite serious, and their trauma and stuff. And I feel like it was good to keep that to the forefront of the story quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was good. I liked their character arc as well throughout the story. So they turn up, they have this intention of never leaving, and essentially unliving themselves. And that's the whole point of the story. They are going back because their mum has died and they want to unlive themselves and just be fucking done with life. But Eli kind of helps them kind of come through that and not recover in a sense, because they haven't recovered, but just come through it and try and help them get through that process and everything that's going on. And I know it's done in such a way that Eli's like, you die when I say you die, but it worked.
It wasn't help. It was taking away the control.
Yeah. But it worked also.
But in such a way that it was help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was nice to see Kai then make a friend in Esther and kind of realize that
they do have something to be around for.
Yeah. And what their mum was doing was actually really good for the community as a whole, really. She was helping out a lot of people by having that business and helping people with jobs and things like that. And I think they've decided that they would kind of like to keep that legacy going, really, because they really did love making those little things. And I can't even pronounce the word and I feel awful about it. I should have Googled it, really, but
I can't even remember what they were called. Alba something.
Yeah. Is it? It's like written on the back, I think. Ali Regis.
I feel I need to understand the pronunciation before I talk about it.
Ali Regis. Can you say it for me? Pronunciation.
We are looking at how to pronounce these words.
I don't.
The J won't be pronounced like a J.
Okay.
Alebrie? Maybe?
Olebrije.
Olebrije.
I wasn't far off, but yeah.
Olebrije.
Olebrije. Yeah, they realised that they actually really did love making those things, and
they had a lot of like family connection to it as well, and some good core memories as well.
And the whole ghost thing going on as well, with their mum and dad and grandmother and grandpa as well, keep coming back to the house,
being around and watching.
I actually thought they were going to sleep with Eli at the end with their mum in the room. And I panicked a little bit. I was like, please leave. That would be weird, ghost or not.
Go away, mother.
At the end, I wanted to know what I need to do to make a deal with a demon to fix my anxiety, grant my wishes, and make me friends. Oh, bless you.
That's a good point. Like, does Kai actually... No, yeah, I think they do. I was going to say, do they actually fix any of their own problems? But I think they do. I think they are the one that decides to make friends with Esther. I don't think that's Eli's doing.
No.
And I don't think that Eli solved the problem of their anxieties and depression and stuff. Like, that's all still very present in their life. I think Eli's just offered a way to cope through it. And even then, sometimes he doesn't give it.
No.
But,
He's
yeah.
very much a support mechanism for them, isn't he? I think. Like,
Yeah.
I think similar to like me to you and you to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not here to fix each other's problems because we can't.
We're
but
not here to have really kinky sex either.
we're not like in that sense. But support system.
Yeah.
In the support system sense, like, we're not here to fix each other's problems, but we're here to help each other through them. And like, when we have a meltdown or something, we will help each other where we can. I think Eli is there for them in that sense. But there are situations in which I think like he does kind of stick his nose in a little bit more and try and help solve the situation. So for example, with the rape, he went back and killed the guy, didn't he? And then
without Guy's permission or
which he shouldn't have done really, but and then also in the florist as well, getting flowers for their mum's funeral. Again, without Kai's permission.
I need you to, make me deals for free flowers. Yeah.
So when he does stick his nose in a little bit too far, they're not happy about it.
No, other than, as Erin's just said, they get magic body surgery, which is a dream come true. They do get magic body surgery.
Yes.
That does happen. But it doesn't fix all of their dysmorphia, because I recall there being a conversation later towards the end where Kai's looking at themselves again, saying something about their body that they still don't like, and Eli saying like, well, we can fix that if you want. Like, we can do that. And I'm pretty sure Kai says like, no, I need to just, they
need to work through it themselves, don't they?
Deal with it.
It's probably a thing that they've been working on.
It might have been the pussy. It might have been that.
Yeah, well, Eli went down on them.
Well,
Eli went down on them, and they weren't happy about it to start off with.
Yeah.
And then they came back round to it, didn't they? But
yeah.
Eli mentioned that he would give them a penis if they wanted, and even let them,
Yeah. Yeah, that.
But it did happen again a little bit later on, towards, like you say, nearer towards the end, after they'd slept together and he'd spanked them. I think again there was a little thing that happened there, and there was a conversation again where Eli was like, look, I think you're beautiful, and if you want to change, we can change, but you don't need to, kind of conversation.
Yeah. I think it was a good balance of like, this is a fantasy story and there are some magical things that can occur, but also not saying magic's going to fix all your problems and that some sexy demon dude is the only way you're going to be okay with yourself.
Yeah.
Again, balance.
Yeah, again, it's quite realistic, isn't it, with what's going on, like the trauma and the mental health that's going on in here. Not only that, but everything that's going on with Kai as far as like the body dysmorphia is concerned, and all of that stuff.
And the continuing with the therapy and the medication and stuff. Like, early on, they say that they flushed their last month of meds, but then during the story, they're actually taking their meds. So.
Yeah. It was good. I really liked Esther. She was like she just kept persevering with Kai, despite the fact that Kai kept pushing her away. And I quite liked that she did that. And I quite liked as well.
Esther was also kind of a bitch, though. Especially early on with that, like, you think what you're doing is brave comment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, bish.
Yeah.
Get gone.
Yeah, they did have that. They had that conversation, didn't they? I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah. And they do, Esther does come back and apologize afterwards and say that it was wrong and she shouldn't have said it, and so on. So at least there's some sort of not reconciliation. What's the word I want?
Redemption.
That's not the word I want either.
I was so confident in that as well.
Pretty sure it begins with an R. Regret? No. Repercussion? I don't know. I don't know what the word is that I want, but you know what I mean. At least they did say sorry and it was addressed again.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the church scene and the funeral? Because, like, how uncomfortable was that?
Really uncomfortable. Yeah. The way that Kai just all of us, like, not all of a sudden, but became incredibly overwhelmed with so many people coming up to, like, say sorry for your loss and just outright dead naming her. And it was horrible. I didn't like it at all. I'm so glad they walked away.
Yeah. I was amazed that they put themselves together in such a way to pretend to be who their mother wanted them to be for their mother's funeral, when I know that probably a lot of people in their life would have said, like, oh, your mum deserves that sort of respect. I don't think that their mum did deserve that sort of respect.
No.
Yes, maybe their mum loved them in their own way, but I don't think that a mother that does that to their child deserves the respect of their child pretending to be someone they're not, just for the sake of a funeral and saving face or whatever they want to call it. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree. And I think considering they fought so hard to get to the place where they were at as well, to then kind of almost go backwards and get mixed up in that sense and be that person that their mum wanted them to be, just for the sake of that one day. Like, I don't know. It was uncomfortable. I kind of wish they'd gone as their own person, really. Maybe people wouldn't have approached them then.
Yeah.
I did like that Esther was pretty quick to correct the
the pastor, yeah.
And be like, this is Kai.
Yeah. Oh, but that ICE agent at the end.
Oh, what a dick.
Coming back in with, oh, it's illegal to use a fake name, isn't it? Like, you deserve every little claw that's coming your way, sir.
Yeah.
And then discovering that the whole thing was a fucking ruse and he didn't have Esther anyway.
I know. Well, it only wound up with him dead.
Got what he deserved.
Yeah. I agree. I do wish them all the best, though. Like, I kind of hope that it's obviously not happy ever after, is it? But I hope
them all the best because they're real people.
But I like
all success for the future.
You know, like when a book doesn't wrap up with a little bow at the end and a happy ending and all that shit. And I know it's never going to be a happy ending, but I do hope that they went on to be happier and, you know, the business did well and just all that stuff. I do hope that they went on.
What do you think about the convenience of the ending then, with Kai ending up being a demon or being turned into a lesser demon?
Yeah, it was convenient. I was like, it doesn't happen usually, does it? Does it usually in fantasy books? I don't know. I'm thinking of like Akatar and stuff now.
Yeah. Twilight.
Yeah. I mean, vampires, granted. Werewolves, yeah. But when was the last time you heard of a demon turning a human into a demon?
Have you read Ruin of Kings yet?
No.
Happens a few times.
Oh, nice. Fair. Okay. I mean, supernatural.
There we go. We're uncovering more where this happens.
But it's done in such a way that the demon is literally possessing the person. The demon cannot leave and become another being. Like they are possessing the entire I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, it was convenient though. The way the way they just asked for it and it just happened as well. It sounded painful though.
It did sound painful, and the way it was written as well, like it very much gave the vibe that Eli did not want to do that.
No.
So it still wasn't part of their happy ever after. That was never part of their plan. But yeah.
I agree. Hello, Abby. Hope you're well.
Hello.
It's not happy about slaying your enemy and putting racist enemies under your thumb.
Fair point.
Yeah.
It's a happy ending with a little bow. Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah. In a way, yeah, they end up with a home, with a business, with friends, with a lover, and I don't know if you could say no longer wanting to unalive themselves, but almost no longer having the ability to unalive themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose in a way they're not getting what they wanted, because they wanted to unalive themselves and that be it, just be completely done with the whole of the world. But they're getting so much more out of it. So I suppose it's a very twisted, dark, potential happy ending, but not what they imagined or wanted necessarily, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good day in my book, productive time.
Productive time.
And they brought down some pretty bad people in the process as well, because that agent was a douche.
Oh yeah, deserved everything that came to him.
Yeah.
And then they just fucked in his blood. Yeah. Like
You're proper stuck on that, aren't you?
yeah. Like just surrounded by shredded human remains. In the kitchen as well.
I don't know how they didn't get interrupted, to be honest.
Also, earlier on in the book, when they're like, just not my parents' room. The stairs, the bathroom, my room, the lounge, the kitchen. Yeah. Just not my parents' room.
Any other room, just not that one.
In a pool of dead guys' blood? Sure. Just not my parents' room.
It's got to be a line somewhere.
It's that door, apparently.
I don't know. It was good, and I like the representation in here. I like the mental health representation, the trauma, and the way it's dealt with. I like, obviously, the queer representation in here. I think it was done really well. Obviously, not an Own Voices review by any means, but I think it was dealt with very, very well. The dead naming fucked me off so many times, but I suppose you're going to get that.
It was supposed to.
It's the whole point, isn't it? You come out of town, you go back, everyone's going to, I don't know. You're in a small town as well. These people are not going to take lightly to something like that, are they? Not to, generalize small towns by any means, but I don't know. I just find they might have a harder time to be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Makes total sense. When they should.
And even the characters that we did see almost do that, like the pastor. Every time I say that, it's like spaghetti, the pastor. When Esther corrected him, he didn't fight back on it at all, but Kai points out the confused expression. So even those that don't make a scene are still like,
Yeah. You're still getting judgment, aren't you?
I'm doing this with no context, and Jade's explanation is bringing up so many questions. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
I was thinking this. I was like, please don't stick around for this. Goodness sake.
Yeah. Also, we had the blowjob scene with them in their demon form as well. Yeah. A little bit of different body in there.
Yeah.
Fun.
You know what I think did it for me, and the reason why I didn't necessarily find Eli that attractive? It was the eyes everywhere. Like, why has he got eyes on his wings and on his chest? What is there with that?
In demon form.
Yeah, I know, but it freaked me out.
He's literally an otherworldly demon.
No, I know, but I haven't heard of a demon being described that way before. I don't know what
Lots of
demons generally
demons-
look like.
Lots
to
of
be honest.
like mythical demonic creatures have lots of eyes.
Do they?
Especially like the one in the chest. That's quite common.
Yeah.
Just glad he didn't have an eye on the end of his penis. That would have been weird.
Just a bit.
As if it wasn't weird enough already.
Oh god.
But I did like with that when all the eyes on his wings, when she was giving him the demon blowjob and all the eyes on his wings rolled back like in unison.
Yeah.
Imagine that being quite funny to watch.
Yeah. Oh.
Angels are terrifying, yeah.
Wow. It's amazing how you come up with this image in your head of what something should look like, and it's just nothing like that, you know what I mean? Probably got the idea from biblical description of an angel, yeah.
Well, they are a fallen angel, so yeah. And I know that Friday Moon, as a writer, has a lot of like biblical influences. One of their other books is quite biblical, I think. I can't remember what it's called.
Is it written in the back?
Probably. Exodus 23. Yeah. Biblical influence. So, yeah. That is probably exactly where they got it from. Overall, though, pleasantly surprised. I had a very good time. Would do it again. Which is not the answer that I think anyone expected out of this. So,
outstanding. Maybe I need
to have a winner. Sorry if the romance community doesn't want me. You might just have to have me.
I want you to stay. I don't want you to have one foot out the door. I would like you to stay, please. Also, maybe I should make her soul to take a Cliterature book club read.
You've already read it, though. You don't want to.
I'll read it again. It was awesome.
Well, you've got me next month, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy next month's one anywhere near as much. Let's put that straight out there.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we'll see what my type is. I guess the more
I think we're getting there, aren't we? We're figuring it out.
Maybe. I hope so. Yeah. I am realizing something in common that I have between the two romances that I've enjoyed the most is the non-binary main character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't any food in this one, and I was still interested.
No.
Foodie romance, trauma romance. Let's see.
Maybe that's maybe that's what sells you. But they've got to be queer.
Apparently. Despite the fact that I'm not.
It's nice to get some diversity though, isn't it, in the books and stuff. I did enjoy this. Like in that sense. I don't know, the more I'm talking about it now, the more I realized how much I did enjoy it. I think it was in the moment I just wasn't enjoying myself as a human. Yeah. Wasn't enjoying my own company. That's the problem.
Yeah. Maria saying you may like fantasy romance. There have been fantasy romances that I have tried where I have not enjoyed myself. So let's just look at Fortuna Sworn for a moment. Like, there are a lot of fantasy romance girlies out there that love that.
I
thought it was absolute hot garbage.
Yeah.
There we go. Abby's got me nailed.
Next month is Regifted, which is a short novella. There's a picture of it on our Instagram, but it's a short novella. It is a retelling of A Christmas Carol, and our main character, I think, is just going to get gangbanged by ghosts of
Our
Christmas
main
past.
character is, a woman who's going to get fucked by a bunch of ghosts.
Yeah. So we'll all enjoy that together, because we're doing it as a sprinting live show. So we'll do sprint or a sprint, however long it takes us to get through, because I think it's only about 50 pages.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah,
very
it's really short. And then we'll discuss it in the same live show. We're doing it in December. I think I wrote down when. No, I didn't, which is super helpful for myself because I've probably gone and arranged other stuff. Hang on.
Yeah, please tell me when it is as well, because I will also probably have arranged my life around other things.
Let me have a quick butcher.
When is it?
I think I've scheduled the show, but I don't think I've made it public yet because I wanted to wait till this show had been done.
I'm very intrigued to see where the rest of my experimental romance reading or smut reading or whatever reading takes me.
Yes, I'm interested too.
I need to learn what tropes I like and don't like.
Yeah. We know you don't like insta-love.
Oh, God, no.
God, no.
No.
Right, the Regifted live show will be on the 15th. It's Thursday the 15th.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Rat bag.
It's my work Christmas party. I can't do that. It's not even like I can rearrange that.
I'm going to have to reschedule the live show for another day. Wouldn't mind. I literally checked with the chat the other day as well. Okay. I
probably just thought, oh, it's a Thursday. Like, I won't be doing anything on a Thursday. Yeah, I am.
We'll arrange another day and let you know.
Whoops.
She does have Chef's Kiss, which she got recently.
Yes.
With a non-binary main character. And a cooking one as well.
Yeah. And the other cooking one that I liked was a non-binary character cook show thing. So very similar.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Did you get the package over the weekend?
I did, yes. Thank you. Foodie Romance.
Nice.
The same one you got.
Oh, nice.
It's somewhere in this stack of books that I have yet to put away.
Winner. Yeah, so Regifted is the next book. We will do a sprinting live show with that one. Yeah. But I'll let you know of the date because we're going to have to try and find another date to do that now. Which is absolutely fine. Now y'all can buddy read it. Yes, we can. Do you remember the last time we did a buddy read where we weren't together?
No.
It was Shadows of Self. You are the only one that finished the book.
We didn't do that. That buddy read didn't happen. You got further than I did during the buddy read. And then I picked it up about a year later and actually read it.
Yeah, finished it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's a whisk.
There's a way? Like, I need the rest of that sentence.
Anything else to add?
Merry Christmas.
I meant for the book. No?
I think I covered most of my thoughts.
Yeah.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for reading it.
Who'd have thought?
I know. I did not see you rating this higher than me coming at all.
I thought that it would have been totally up your street, though, so...
I think in general it is. Again, just to clarify, it's me that's the problem, I think, 100% here with and not the book.
the line about Mary Magdalene's sweet ass pussy, that's what I wanted to add because that made me die. Thank you. I thought that was great. I can't remember the context. I just remember seeing something about Mary Magdalene's sweet ass pussy.
Nice.
Now I'm done.
You feel better?
Yeah.
Probably.
No.
She won't. But I probably will, yeah.
I mean, never say never, I guess. But
maybe next year.
see how much you can change a girl in 12 months.
I mean, you've read several romances this year that you would have never have thought of picking up
4.
and rated them.
I've read 4 romances this year.
And what have you rated them?
3, 4, 2, 4.
See? 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Over 3-star rating.
Yeah.
I gave it 3 stars. Jade gave it 4. She was a hoe.
She was a hoe.
Right, okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I am absolutely Hank Marvin, so I'm going to go and get some food. But thanks so much for hanging out with us, Ratbag. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you putting yourself through this. I mean, you did put the book up for suggestion. So.
Hey, right, let's get this straight before we go. I never said, do this for Cliterature. I never said, I'll do Cliterature. That's not how this came about, all right? I saw it. I thought, Steph, you would love this. And you go, oh, yes, I would. I'll do it for Cliterature. And because you recommended it, you have no choice. You're coming with, all right? That's how it went.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
You are correct.
Okay. Bye.
See you next time.